Going. Cool, we're rolling. So, Sam, can you give an introduction on who you are and what you do?
Absolutely. First, name Sam Piliero. I run the Moonlighters. We're a advertising agency that specifically works with 7 to 8 figure e-commerce businesses. And then I also run school.com/Facebook, where we help slightly smaller brands scale with one-on-one slash coaching level services inside school.
Lovely, cool. So,
Yeah.
what were you doing before working with us? What sort of state were you in with your business, also your YouTube channel, revenue ranges, YouTube channel size, etc.?
So I think we started working together is it coming up on 3 years now? I think we've
I
been rolling for a
think
while.
a couple years,
And
2, 3 years, I
two,
think.
3 years, yeah. So, um, the whole story here on my side is that I had worked with a couple clients prior. I had started my career at VaynerMedia, went over to BarkBox, and I had some clients that I was working with, and um, all independent to myself. So I was doing everything. I had no team, and started the YouTube side. I came from the world of VaynerMedia, where basically mostly because of Gary, if I'm honest, like was massively influenced to be social and like post everywhere. And I knew that was going to be a big part of my strategy eventually. So YouTube started, and the first 5 to 10 videos we posted on YouTube, we were using another editor. Um, we got a little bit of traction, getting a couple hundred, maybe 1,000 views at most. Um, and had a few subscribers, a couple comments here and there. And I was very aware that it was going to be a ball to roll uphill for a while.
Mhm.
And long story short, there is we worked with someone else who did get us going. I'll give him some kudos there. But then we stumbled upon you guys, and I think it was my business partner who stumbled upon you. And I mean, we did one video together, and I'm pretty sure it was around 5 to 10 times larger than the other videos. And we got our first sale from that first video.
Mhm.
And as much as I wanted to believe, like, oh, this was going to be a slow game, it was going to take forever, there's no denying that getting that first high paying, I mean, we're talking, our retainers are very large, right? They're
Mhm.
multiple thousands of dollars per month,
Mhm.
and they're ever going. So some clients have stuck with us for the last 6+ years.
Mhm.
Getting that first client from that first YouTube video that we did together, I can't deny it was like the most exciting, exhilarating thing. And
Yeah.
we've kind of just been rolling from there as hard as we could.
Yeah. No, I remember like the channel was, I think there was like a few videos out. Your channel's probably like 60 subscribers. The videos were getting like 30, 60 views or something like that. So something like that. And yeah, you were working with the other YouTube vendor. And then yeah, I remember the first video. Yeah, like that video I think even now sits at around like 14, 15,000 views or something like that. And then the one after that as well, which was I can't remember if it was, I think it might have been the new way of Facebook ads, like in would have been 2023 or 2024 at that point. And that one did really well. I think it was 2024. And I think I remember as well, like I remember you saying about the getting the high ticket clients there. So yeah, it was quite it was quite quickly when we saw some level of success, and obviously we'll get into like the success now in a bit. But first, like, what problems do you feel you were like really trying to solve at the time that actually led you to working with us, both like business related and YouTube related? Because obviously you were,
Yeah.
you had a certain stage of your business, and also you're already working with a YouTube vendor. So like, what do you feel the problems that you were trying to solve were at the time?
Yeah. So I think like the journey of basically anyone who's either starting out or trying to scale comes at two different parts. The part A is when you're just starting out
Mhm.
and you really just need to do everything yourself. And that doesn't mean you need to do YouTube yourself or anything like that. You're servicing the clients, you're selling, you're doing everything, right? You're learning all the parts of the business and you're trying to execute it as well as possible. That was kind of the stage I was in originally before YouTube.
Mhm.
And then right when we knew like, hey, it was time to actually properly do YouTube, um, that was the time when we tried to work with that other vendor.
Mhm.
And in doing that, the things that I needed at the time, because we started to have additional members of the team, we started to grow. There
Mhm.
was more to manage. I wasn't working on clients as much. When all that started, it was pretty obvious to me that I needed to be as hands off as possible. So when I'm doing YouTube stuff, I need to be full force, full effort. I physically cannot figure out what videos to hit, exactly how to hook those videos. I needed actual help on that.
Mhm.
And then even more important, to be honest, for me at least, was once that video was recorded, I needed to know it was just handled.
Yeah.
So like that's one of the best parts. I don't know, maybe you'll ask this question, but like
Mhm.
that's one of the best parts about working with you guys specifically is it's actually handled. And you know, and my whole team knows, like I have really high standards. So when something gets like sent to me, one of our core values here is hand off on a silver platter. So when something gets sent over to me and it's just like half-assed, I'm like so like I don't you guys just like this isn't good enough. I'm not even gonna give you
Yeah, yeah,
comments. It bothers me so much.
yeah.
But everything that you guys give me, especially now, we've been working together for a while, right? You build rapport, you build relationships with everyone on your team is fantastic.
Mhm.
We've learned like this is how the flow works of things. I get sent the review video and they're like 98%. I have like one comment,
Mhm.
super smooth.
Mhm.
That was huge for me.
Cool. Yeah, no, lovely stuff. No, I'm just glad to hear. That's exactly the way we feel too. And I'm the exact same. Like if I get something and it's like I'll just be like, I'm not even reviewing that. Like
Yeah.
send it back, you know. Cool. And so yeah, so like you were basically at the time, you were at the point of the business where you just had to like it was really delegating, right? Delegating these responsibilities. And so you solved the capacity issue by hiring this other YouTube vendor, but like it didn't really solve the issue of the results, right? Because there's like with YouTube, there's
Yeah.
both the capacity side and then the capability side, right? Do you have the capacity to actually do YouTube, and do you have the capability to actually do it and get results? And so like that side got solved, but then obviously you saw the other side didn't get solved, and so that's where we really came in. But I guess like during that period where we were just about to start working together, or like just before then when we were in that kind of like sales process of deciding, whether to work together or not, what hesitations or doubts did you have when considering working with us? Like at the time during that process, was there anything where you were like, unsure, that,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So I didn't want to go and do the same thing that we were already doing with someone else, right? Like I'm not just trying to hop around to different partners.
yeah,
When we find talented folks on our team, whether it's internal team members, vendors that we work with, whatever, we tend to have extremely long relationships. Like that could be with like tools that we use all the way down to like our relationship here.
yeah,
So what I look for is I kind of like to taste a lot of things. I like to try a few different vendors out if necessary. And then when we recognize, oh, this is what good looks like, stick really hard. So
mhm,
my fear, I think, going in was mostly around like, is the product going to be handled, taken care of, good? And
mhm.
will this get us not just more views, but tied to qualified leads, which was technically the goal of the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess that's the fear with anything, especially coming from like, if you work with another vendor and then it's like you don't want to make the same mistake twice,
Mhm.
basically. Yeah, makes sense. And so like obviously we overcame that and that didn't end up being an issue. So like we started working together. We've been working together for I think it's 2 years, but I'll double check
Yeah.
like just over 2 years because I think it makes sense with the timeline. So from starting from essentially zero, 60 subscribers if we want to be exact, to now, what results have you achieved? So like YouTube side, business side, specific if we can on the, numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk me through.
Okay, so first, if I get anything wrong here, just put text on the screen for me.
Okay. Yeah.
Right now, we're floating, I think, close to 65,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
Um, I'll go YouTube side first, and I'll go actual business results. So 65,000 subscribers.
Mhm.
We've well past 1 million total views.
Yeah.
We're in a niche that is like the most expensive niche to be in,
Yeah.
meaning the CPMs, if you were to try to get in front of these folks, like on YouTube with paid ads, is multiple 80, 90, $100 CPMs.
Mhm. Mhm.
So the view value, like the true length watch time per person is so valuable.
Mhm.
And from a strict numbers perspective, right? 65K subscribers, well over north of a million, maybe coming up on 2 million total views.
Mhm.
And in the space, from what I can see, we are the authority right
Mhm.
now.
Mhm.
So I believe by view count over our last, I think it's almost like 20 plus videos, I think half a year,
Yeah.
we're the number one Facebook ads e-commerce channel right
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
US, etc.
Mhm.
So that side's awesome, right? Like I basically can't ask for more. This is me being dialed on my side, you guys being dialed on your side, and it comes together and gets us an amazing product.
Mhm.
Flip side, business results. So from starting at 60, at the time we were working with I think five total clients.
Mhm.
Um, those clients, I won't share exactly like who they were because you can kind of figure out how much they're paying us and stuff. But we're starting with around five total clients. Today, we have over 80 clients that we're working with right now.
Mhm.
In terms of revenue, I'll say two things. First, every single business that has signed the dotted line to work with us over the last year to 2 years, really definitely the last year, but I'd say year and a half plus, has seen our content. There
Mhm.
has essentially been no one at this point who has not heard of us.
Mhm.
So whether you've literally found out about us on the first touch point on YouTube and then watched more videos and then we're like, I want to work with these guys, that's the most common journey. But there's also journeys that are less recognized. Like we run a lot of paid ads still.
Mhm.
And everyone on those paid ads at some point watches a YouTube video,
Mhm.
right? So it's both nurturing and it's creating top of funnel and nurturing middle funnel. And it's also one of the last touch points before that person closes with us.
Mhm.
So we leverage YouTube, specifically just long form.
Mhm.
Like it is the machine that nurtures and grows the business.
Mhm.
In terms of actual I can give MRR numbers. I mean, in terms of actual monthly recurring revenue, we've generated well north of 300,000 monthly recurring revenue um, from YouTube, which
Mhm.
is pretty sick. Um, yeah,
Very nice.
and that is our full paid. Excuse me, that is our agency side.
Yeah.
And then we also have a lower ticket offer on school.com/Facebook,
Which you
and
just launched, by the way. Like
that is
that was,
brand new. Yeah, so we
yeah.
did two launches. We launched closed doors exclusively. We made an announcement on YouTube, and we did over $100,000 in 24 hours from that. So that was insane for
Yeah.
for me at least. It was one of the most like eye-opening, oh my gosh, we all the value we're providing for free paid back in that moment for me.
Mhm.
And I think that's an important thing to recognize. Like what I try to do, at least on my side, and I know not everyone in the YouTube space operates like this, but
Mhm.
I genuinely try to just give as much sauce as possible to the market
Mhm.
in hopes that one day down the line they'll be a fit to work with us. And if not, you just get better at ads and you like me or something.
Yeah.
In addition to the school launch, we reopened our doors. Podrick. I'll say that again. Um, in addition to the school launch, we reopened our doors on January 1st. And right now, we've only been open, this will be day 28 or 29 of it.
Mhm.
We're north of $35,000 monthly recurring revenue on that side.
Mhm.
My objective there is to win the school games. So I want to get flown out to LA and hang out with Sam Ovens and Hormozy and the whole squad there.
Yeah.
Um, and it's going to be hard, like there's no doubt. But all this to be said, YouTube's the engine that allows this to happen. If you watch any of my YouTube videos, I call out the school community, I call out our paid ads agency,
Mhm.
and I pin in the comments every single time and in our descriptions both of our offers. This
Mhm.
allows me to kind of service the 80% of the market that we talk to.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, that's huge. I appreciate you sharing that. And so, yeah, like that's pretty nice. Cool. So in terms of like, I guess how the business has changed from a Because yeah, you literally went from a point of where you had 5 clients to now over 80 clients and continuously growing, and now there's the school community, and so like, how is that like? It's probably a big business impact. So like, describe the impact of the business, how everything's shifted, just all of that side of things. That's not necessarily numbers related, but like actual on the back end, and also for you as well, like the impact that it's had there.
Yeah. So I think when, some people will just see the numbers and be like, whoa, like that's a lot of money, or,
Yeah.
that's a lot of monthly recurring revenue. And it is like, it is, it's fantastic. But
Mhm.
what that actually has allowed me to do on my side is way less about like, that's not my take home cash. It's not like
Yeah.
Sam's just rolling around in $5 million a year or something like that. Maybe one day, but really what that's allowed me to do is hire really, really aggressively. So when we first started, 4 or 5 years ago, um, I had to be pretty cheap about who I hired. And as a result, I had to be the puppeteer in all cases. I had to check everything. I had to be on top of everything. I had to micromanage people to get to the quality standards that I wanted. We don't do that anymore. Not only is it not possible at the size we're at, but as a result of me not wanting my heart to explode and my head to pop off, we hire A plus talent. So because we have more revenue in the business, we have created economies of scale for ourselves. We now could hire truly like very expensive folks on the team. I won't say how much, but like they get paid a lot. And because they get paid a lot, they're obviously at the top tier of the market. I don't need insane oversight on every single person on the team. Like these are adults, right? They've been doing this. Everyone on the team, minimum 7 years experience. Average person on the team has 11 years experience. I mean, it's like it's high. And that's been the biggest, I think, privilege as a result of having the growth that we've had, just having great team members that can handle stuff.
Yeah, like because of the growth that you've had, you can now provide the absolute best service, better than what you could even do when you were at the smaller size, even though it was you directly, because you just got like this elite team, right? And it's also very just a rewarding feeling having that too. Like that, I think that's super cool. Like you've just been able to build something that's like
Yeah.
actually extremely impactful, and of course have all the nice things like the numbers, but like
Yeah.
that's equally, or if not as more cool, I would say.
It is when we did a trip out to New York, everyone came out here
Yeah.
and just gathered around the table, just like some photos out there of it. But like we just gathered around the table and I looked at everyone, I was like, whoa. And I realized there's a
Yeah.
lot of people that, you know, they are bought in to the fact that of what we do here.
Mhm.
And everyone wants to be on a growth ship. No one wants to be on a stagnant, plateaued business. There's momentum and everyone feels that. And I think one of the things that's so exciting from the position that we're in because of social, because of YouTube, right, is that not only do we get to grow from it and get clients from it, but we actually get to see our clients before they join to work with us, implementing the things that we talk about. So it actually makes our service even easier to fulfill on. Because it's
Mhm.
like they've started the painful stuff of things. They've started the reorganization of their ad accounts. They've started these gaps. So not only is, monthly recurring revenue super high and all of these things and client growth high, but the quality of the client that we attract is significantly higher than it was 2 to 3 years ago. Not even
Yeah.
close to.
Yeah. Like it's now at the point where you're turning down brands that you would have considered probably an ideal client back then.
Yeah.
Like you would have been ecstatic to have them as a client, but now it's like you're able to like you've just got such a higher standard because of the lead flow in the position that you're able to be in. So with all of like that considered, how much, because I also want to be like, I think like a lot of people position case studies and these things as like, yeah, like we drove all of the success, like we're entirely responsible for the results, when actually they failed to mention they had like 1 million followers on another platform and these sort of things. So I want to make sure like we're creating the environment here of like just how much of this actually would you attribute to YouTube? Obviously, definitely say your piece about you're an absolute expert at what you do. You're absolutely
Sure.
top of the game at what you do. And so like no way I can take credit for that. And so just really understanding like how much of it's attributed to YouTube, and then also like what it, where did we actually help you achieve that success, and also honesty as well in terms of like what's needed aside from that, right? We can't do everything. So I think both of those things would be useful too.
Of course. So there are force multipliers in business. There are simply things that throw gas on the fire,
Mhm.
right? And individually, one plus one in the case of many businesses does not equal two. It could equal three, four, 10, 20. And that's the case here, I think. So we started with, I think you said 60 subscribers.
Yeah.
It was nothing. Let's just call it for what it is. Um, we had no Instagram. I had 400 connections on LinkedIn, right? Like there was no social media presence, period.
Mhm.
We were the moonlighters.co because we didn't have enough revenue to buy .com. This is a serious transformation over the
Yeah.
last 2 years. If anyone's really, an agency or a business out there, you know that employee headcount is one of the most sought after, um, indications of success. We went from 2 to 20 in the last 2.5 years.
Mhm.
So in terms of how much I attribute to YouTube and to your team as well, YouTube's our core of all acquisition for us. It's the core of the content machine. I would say it's an actual like 50-50 play, which is extremely high in my book. So I'm not going to be like, oh, it's 100%, right? I have no doubt that I'm a monster at this and that I am good at this too. But I can be super, super good at it. And if I'm putting it in the wrong vehicle, which is what you guys take care of,
Mhm.
then like many fantastic ad buyers and growth operators out there, their videos get lost into the void. It needs to be put in the right place, and that's what we've done together. So I literally see it as like I'm out in my backyard with a log. I am that log, and you come over and you're the propane tank. And
Yeah.
you're just like, let's just tell this message to the world in the right way.
Mhm.
So yeah, I don't know if that answers the question, but
No,
like
yeah, 100%.
it's a
Yeah, so like
it's a yeah.
yeah, so like YouTube is essentially like it's attribution in some way can be tied back to YouTube pretty much all the time because either they're finding you through YouTube or YouTube's playing some part of the process in terms of like if they're coming through a different traffic source, the YouTube videos are helping convert those people. So in some way, large percentage it's directly attributed to them finding you through YouTube, but also a very significant percentage is just actually that unspoken effect of YouTube videos, which is just having really good long form content and having the authority as well, which also then
Mhm.
makes it easier for you to now grow on platforms like, Instagram, for example, like that's actually taking off quite well. And that's going to be, so it actually is now allowing us to propel into these other acquisition channels and see more
Yeah.
success there. In terms of like how much of an impact we've had and you've had 50-50 because you are absolutely one of the absolute top peoples. I mean, I would say the absolute best that I've seen at what you do. And you have the credibility and you had that credibility from the start in terms of, your history of being a media and then, BarkBox and like just your experience and results as a whole. But then you could make videos and package them wrong and they would never see the light of day, right? But the only reason we've been able to package them well and they have then succeeded massively is because of the value that you have to offer. And that's why I think it's important to know that because, you know, like if you're not an expert at what you do and the content therefore is going to be very mediocre level, there's no amount of YouTube ideation, strategy, thumbnails, titles, etc. that can save you. But if like you believe you're actually like one of the top people and you should be an industry leader in your niche. You have the credibility and expertise to be able to be that. But it's like, how do I get that message out? Then that's when, if you're an expert at what you do, that's when that stuff helps. And so I think that's important to know. That's why I
Yeah,
wanted to ask that.
and Jake, like if one thing to call out here is that even if you don't have that credibility, if
Mhm.
you are just skilled at the thing,
Yeah.
it still needs to be packaged right. Like I don't doubt like it helps when I say I worked at these other places and these people trust me and these brands work with me.
Mhm.
Yes, there's proof in that. But like just showcasing what we do and some of the results of what we do,
Mhm.
that's the important part. So you guys packaging that properly has been that's the game changer for me. Yeah.
Cool. So you would say like the most valuable part of like yes, we kind of and by the way, how much time do you have? Because I know you.
Just
We can
five,
probably
five.
wrap this up in like 5, 10, if
That's fine.
that's yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Um, so yeah, like would you say obviously you said at the start, like one of the most valuable things was having everything done for you. And then in
Yeah.
terms of like that, like that's what enabled you to do it, right? But in terms of where you felt we helped with driving the most success, what would
Mhm.
you say that, well, like, is that what you're saying? Like, that's the packaging and like that side of things, or just kind of just so the viewer understands like where it, because anybody can take the capacity side off and do it for you, right? But then you could weigh that
Yeah.
up against two different people and they get completely different results. So I think that's really important because a lot of people don't understand that with YouTube. Is like
Mhm.
I've got a YouTube agency that's doing like the whole process for me. Why am I not seeing results, you know?
Yep.
So yeah, I
Um,
think giving clarity behind that.
yeah. The so all of these algorithms in all channels work to cater towards the top 1% of content, right? The 1% of content gets shown to 99% of people. And because of that, if your video or whatever you're posting isn't as good as the competitors or competition that you're posting against, you are simply not going to show up.
Mhm,
And even if I'm spitting the best game possible, literally trying to share every single detail, if I don't put that in the right package, meaning if that video is not edited properly, explained the hook, meaning like what's the problem,
mhm,
framed to the solution that we're going to give away in this video, and it's not edited in a way that's engaging and worthy of the watch,
mhm,
it will get so many fewer views and just less people will be impacted by the content.
mhm,
Also, there's something that happens, Jake, that I say from time to time when we talk, and there's some videos I make that when I finally hit the end on the record button, I'm like, I don't know about this one. I think it was good, but I don't know. I feel like I missed some things, or maybe I didn't tie it all together. Because when you make a video, as anyone on the other side of this will learn, or maybe they're already doing, you know that there are multiple cuts. You're not
mhm,
just sitting there and spitting for 20 minutes or 15 minutes or perfectly, right? There's cuts, there's stops, you make mistakes, you fix those mistakes, whatever.
mhm.
I have found that your team is literally capable of recovering my mistakes like so well, so
Yeah.
well. I mean, mistakes or gaps in what I was thinking, they're able to fill it in the right way. And even if that just means knowing when to put the right cut or B-roll or whatever in place at the right time, because I'm thinking while I'm recording and my eyes go over here and I'm talking here for a second, they're able to fix and fill the video to feel complete, packaged, and very professional.
Mhm. Yeah. And it's like you can't hire a freelance video editor to do that. Like it just doesn't
Yeah,
work, right? Like
I'll
it
say that. I'll say that as well. Like
yeah.
every fantastic freelancer out there has their full book of clients and they're getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars a year.
Mhm.
Like the best people get paid boatloads of cash, period.
Yeah.
It is extremely hard to find talent in the market that is already a generally saturated market.
Yeah.
So instead of take like the biggest issue, the biggest one of the worst mistakes you can make in business that I've learned the hard way is that you could hire the wrong people or think that it's better to waste time trying to figure it out.
Mhm.
It's way better in almost all cases to either pay a premium or go with someone who you could actually trust, even if it's a couple dollars more,
Yeah.
because the sunk cost of working with the wrong person is going to be so hard to recover ever.
Mhm. Yeah. Completely agree. No, for sure. So I think, yeah, definitely some good results. And so I would like what one thing tied to that as well. Um, obviously you had worked with a YouTube vendor previous to us, so you experienced somewhat what it was like working with a done for you service that did everything for you, but the results weren't there. So I'd say
Mhm.
like generally, how do you feel that we are different slash better from these other YouTube agencies, service
Yeah.
providers that still provide that end-to-end service, and even like some of these, YouTube quote unquote experts, right? Like how do you feel we're able to actually get better results than them? Like, why do you feel that is?
So this is one of those funny things that I really let you guys handle a lot. So I don't actually know why you get a better result, which
Yeah.
maybe is the best response ever. I don't know why we get the result, but um, I've kind of said this already, but just the way that the relationship and the partnership works,
Mhm.
it really works for me because I could just focus for a few hours on this thing and give it my all and then know that it's handled.
Mhm.
That to me is so, so huge. I think probably like strategically from a YouTube perspective, getting views and such, your team is going out there and finding packages that work. They're finding videos, framing vehicles that work, other styles that we should try to, you know, mimic and steal and use for our own.
Mhm.
Um, every hook that you guys write, there's something I said to my teams, like every time Jake writes a hook for me, it's just better than my hook, even if I don't think it's going to be better. That
Yeah.
video gets more views. Um, and the way that we've kind of worked to date is you guys really hit hard on the intro and the framing of the video, right? The intro, problem, and then proposed solution.
Mhm.
And then I am able to spit freely and give the actual value because it's not like you guys are paid ads experts, but you know that, right? You know, you're not trying to come in and say that Advantage Plus, this. No, no,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
not at all. And I think that it's we've just found a really, really good balance. So I hope that answers. I could just say like talent is hard to find.
Mhm.
And when I work with you guys to this day,
Mhm.
like to you, shout out to the team because I know a lot of people watching this are gonna be like, well, I
100%.
want Jake. Everyone wants Sam, whatever. Like your team is awesome. Like we don't talk for weeks, months sometimes, and it's all good, right?
Yeah.
And it's all things flow.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's that to me has been key. Let me actually answer in a really good way to the exact experience that I had with the
Cool.
other.
Yeah.
When we were previously working with the other YouTube vendor, they
Mhm.
were a freelancer. It was a one-man show that was handling everything.
Mhm.
Because of that, the person was on so many different timelines and variables. There was so much involved. And when we moved to you and you had multiple people handling the things that they're actually the best at,
Mhm.
someone is literally just organizing everything for us, making sure timelines are adhered to, making sure that comments are given and feedback is given. Someone's posting the video. All of that being handled by the person who's the best at it, I think that's probably a huge game changer for us.
Yeah, it's like, at the end of the day, if you were to have our team in-house, assuming you hired every role correctly, which obviously like nobody who's not experienced in YouTube's gonna do, but if you did, it cost you upwards of like $50,000 a month, right?
Yeah.
And in terms of the way the team's structured, like we have everybody in the seat that is genuinely the best for them to be, sat in. Like even for
100%.
me, currently as the time recording this, I am the one who's actually still doing the ideating and the YouTube strategy, but I even have a team underneath me of researchers who like are doing full-time research on YouTube to figure out what title formats are working, thumbnail styles, etc. Right? So like when we step in, and this is the reason really, is like because obviously asked you the question as if you're the YouTube expert. But yeah, like we step into a niche like Facebook ads where everybody else in the niche is a Facebook ads expert and they might have a YouTube agency or service provider under them. But we step in and we're doing hundreds of hours of research a week across YouTube. So we just have better information than them on what's working across the whole platform. And so we can spot the gaps in the market. Because with YouTube, like the ideas, the thumbnails, the titles, like that is the point of leverage from like a performance standpoint. And then it's a case of, okay, does the content actually deliver, right? And that's your part combined with obviously packaging that correctly and structuring that correctly with the hook, etc. So like yeah, and then obviously, we've got these other people in the seats, like the for the video editing side, like you said, like we're able to take the raw footage and make it into the video that like flows the best, provides the best viewing experience, and ultimately like brings out your message the best. So you provide the most value, which
Mhm.
in turn the algorithm pushes it the most. And so yeah, I think it's just a case of like a lot of these YouTube agencies, they have this end-to-end service, but they're like most of them aren't YouTube experts to their core because the YouTube experts are, they're providing YouTube strategy, but they're not really business minded, so they haven't built a full operation. Whereas the YouTube agencies, they're typically from like a video editing background or they've, decided to go into it because it's a good business vehicle of providing this because it's an in-demand service, but they don't actually know what works. The thumbnails might look good, right? And I think even your first thumbnails, like they didn't necessarily look bad. Like they weren't bad, and the editing wasn't terrible either.
Mhm.
But it's like the titles and the concept of the thumbnail and like these things that might seem small because a lot of people think that editing's the big thing, but these things that might seem small is actually the things that makes all the difference, right? The idea in the first place, is it
Yeah.
proven? Is it data backed? Um, so, but yeah,
So
like
we went from B minus to A plus from my perspective,
yeah,
and B minus to A plus in any algorithm is one view to 100 views. It
yeah.
is the difference.
Yeah,
And
because
it
it's winner take all. Like it's
it
literally
is.
like you either get all the attention or the most of it, you take the majority of the market share because people naturally want to click on your videos more because it's literally packaged better. So that's a rule for everybody who is choosing what video to click on. So all the attention floats towards the top. And so that's like you said, it's like it's not a yeah, it's gonna get you a 10x better return if you have a 10x
Yeah,
better system. It's like it's gonna get you an 1,000x plus better return.
yeah.
Um,
And
yeah,
I want to add something because I know we're gonna wrap up here, but
yeah,
I don't like recording videos. Um, it is something I've never liked to do. I still don't like to do it. You guys make it a little bit easier, but I don't like to get behind the camera. I don't love the attention. That's not my vibe, to be
yeah,
honest. And that might come off very strange to anyone who's seen my content before. But for me, this is the thing that is the most important thing to grow the business. It's the commitment I've made to my team. It's the what I want from a growth perspective.
mhm,
So while there's a lot of different ways to grow your business, this is the most steady that I have found ever. It is the thing that we're going to keep doing. We've literally doubled our content, added shorts. We've done so much with you and your team
mhm,
because it works really well.
mhm,
So while it's not something I love to get behind the camera and talk all day, like that's not my jam.
mhm.
Um, it's so important to be done right. And if you don't do it right and you're not getting results, man, not only are you not gonna like get behind the camera, but you're not gonna like any part of it. It's gonna be a dread and you're gonna quit.
Yeah,
The whole process of building something big is hard. And yeah, you guys have made that process easier for me. Like you have elevated every single bit of where we were at previously. So we're rocking. Uh,
cool,
and
lovely.
to your team. And to your team. Like truly, like the
Yeah,
guys are
100%. Shout out to the team. They're
yeah.
killers. Yeah,
They're all,
credits for sure. I couldn't do it without them. So last question. This is a very quick one and might be a silly one. How likely are you to recommend us, and why should somebody listen and take action right now if they're thinking about doing YouTube, starting YouTube, they're failing at YouTube, they want to grow? Yeah,
yeah, I think like you're just kind of making a mistake if you're gonna shop around more. Just like
yeah,
just book the call or whatever at this point, or talk to Jake. There's I wouldn't go anywhere else, right? We like I've said in this exact interview, we're a multi-million dollar business. We're very lucrative right now, thankfully, very fortunate. And I could go hire in-house. I could go do all these other things. I could probably hire an agency that's fancier and whatever.
yeah.
you see me going anywhere? I don't know. I'm staying right here. Like this is what's working really well for us.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, like I'd recommend you to anyone. Like you guys kill it.
Cool. Lovely stuff. And that's all. Thank you very much. I appreciate that a lot.